Alright guys, a big welcome to you all to our channel. We are finally back to the Netherlands. I know. I couldn't have done the video sooner because we chose to stay an extra week in the beautiful city of Porto to enjoy the city and drive around and see more places. Because for me, I have been into Spain multiple times, to Italy multiple times, France, of course, all over the world and especially in Europe, but I haven't been to Portugal for some reason. And that's one of the reasons what we said, you know what, we will do one further away tournament like a Italy or Spain or Portugal or Greek or whatever each year. Because normally we do France, Belgium, Germany and the Netherlands. Like those are the ones that are very close by. We haven't done the UK yet, we haven't done Spain yet, we haven't done Italy yet. So that's pretty nice to do different countries. Portugal was the second event and the timing was kind of off, but we still wanted to do it because we bought a new home. I'm chilling in our new home right now. That's why you hear the sound because there are still not much, like everything needs to be put together. So I'm chilling here with a pile of lots of papers, paper. Yeah, what do you call it in English? Carton. Like a lot of boxes where everything is inside. We have to pack that up and then put everything in place. But yeah, it's a beautiful home. Maybe I'll show you in another video if you guys are interested. And when it's done, I will show you. I will show you the game room. The game room. Yeah, the Vanguard game room. We're off topic, guys. We're off topic. Let's go back. All right. So we had a chance to play in Porto, right? And first day was premium. We had a 35-minute rounds, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I think for D we had 30. It was a 71 players for premium and 112 for D. And we had both days top 8, 7 rounds of Swiss and then a top 8. So the interesting thing about the 7 rounds, you need to go undefeated or 6-1, like to know for sure that you are in the top 8. If you go 5-2, if you go x2, then there's a very small, slim chance that you will get in the top 8. It also depends on if there is a 7-0, yes or no, or how that works out. And if you have been up paired or down paired, like if you go x2 and you still get into the top 8, then you are a lucky guy or girl, player. So yeah, I had lots of interesting matchups. No, not really. I just played meta against meta. So my first game was against New Nectar. She was, I think, quite new to the game. That's what she said. But she played very well. It's like a standard Katrina build. I mean, there's nothing different about it. Just the early token rush, the attack with the Katrina, the placement of the Honey's. Like everything was very standard. It was just like playing as a computer. But she played very well for somebody that is also new to premium. And that was really nice to have the chance to play against her. And then in that game I just GBA'd and played around the Honey's. I mean, nothing new. The second game I played against a good friend of mine, actually, somebody that played Spikes in the past, and we have talked about Spikes like a lot on Facebook and stuff. I think we even have a group with him, me, Sorelen, and Axel. And we play, like, we talked a lot about the Spike build and everything, but that's just like way in the past. It's not that long ago, but we haven't used that for a while because I know that the other players haven't been playing Spikes or even stopped playing Vanguard, or I don't know. So yeah, so it was interesting because he knew the deck, or at least he knew the concept of the deck, how it's a little bit put together. But it was an interesting moment in time where I had reached GB8 and I could go to GB8 on the next turn, and now it was his turn. So I told him, like, this is your chance, now you have to finish me off. But he still chose to go for the Nation Stride and to stall another turn. But we didn't have enough time for stalling another turn. And that's what I told him, like, yo, this is your kill turn. If you don't kill me here, I will GBA and kill you, but we'll have a match. Otherwise, we will go into timeout. And he still chose to do the nation stride. I still don't understand the concept of why he make that choice, but I mean, different players make different choices, I don't know. Or maybe he didn't believe me or whatever. So so it was fine. I took the dive right there. I was like, okay, you know what, I will give you the win. Because otherwise we will just go into timeout. So I think I did like a 2 to pass the Vanguard, or I took one of the Vanguards while I had a PG. I could have PG the Vanguard and then he triple crit me, or he OT'd me and I died. And I would normally just PG the Vanguard, PG the another attack, and I had more than enough hand to survive a Katrina turn or whatever turn. As long as he's OT's out, then I'm good to go. And that's like how the deck works. So yeah, with that, I was going 1-1. I was going 1-1 in premium. But yeah, it's fine. Next game I had to play against DP. Well, you know, in my eyes, the best DP player in the whole world is Marta, my teammate, Seng. He has the most DP tops under his belt, playing just teams, because the guy only played teams. Maybe this year he will play a little bit more of singles, but yeah, we have been playing together in the same team for more than 10 years. Yeah, 10 years now, and we have topped so many times, like it's I can't even count on my hand. So yeah, he is an amazing player, and with that, I do know DP in and out. I know the tech cards that go into DP. I know everything. He haven't played DP for a while because he's more like zooming on D right now, but the concept of the deck is still the same. You can go Robos, then you could like turbo into your grade 3, or you can just go Gallop, that's also interesting, or you could just go the standard build and then have like Dinosaur Boys and Dieliners, and just flip up Big Boy Shield and make attacks and drive check 7 times, 5 times, and like those kind of standard stuff. Like if you give them CB, they double the attack, and you know that. So yeah, I do know DP in and out. So for me, it's fine to play against it as long, again, as the OT is out. I could kill you, but I think on that game, I just killed him normally, like with the early rush and everything. Sometimes you have to make a choice playing against DP. If you give them too much damage, those damage count as 10k for their Vanguard. When they stride and they want to reach the amount. If you don't do that, then they will have to commit to the field. So you'll have to be very smart about when to give them CB and when not. But again, games like that, the game plan is simple. They don't have anything that could interrupt your combos. Like they could maybe place a Honolly and then remove it. That's it. That's all they can do. So yeah, it was a fine game to play. Then on the third game, I had to play against Granblue. The same. Granblue could actually like interrupt your combo if you reach the GBA, but they have a standard play. Like they have like, I think 3 outs. They have the Mick out, Mickey the Ghosty. They have the Columbard out that they could just retire their attackers, and of course they have the Honolly out. They could place up the Honolly during the battle phase, or they could just place them during their battle phase or your battle phase, or they could just do it in the main phase if they could call, and then they could just remove them from play, and then that skill is active. So that's their out, and as long as you know, then you can play around it. So it's fine. It's an okay matchup for me. Oh no, it's an okay matchup for me. So I know how to play against it. So that was a win as well. Then I played against DP again. Fury and other Worlds participants. Pretty nice to have the chance to play against him again. I don't remember if we have played in the past. I don't think that we played in the past actually. But yeah, it was pretty cool. He had the beautiful deck box and everything. Nice deck. It played very, very, very well. But again, I do know DP in and out. So yeah, like something very crazy needs to happen for me to die against DP. Even like the Sentinel Restrict is fine because I will have my G guards become more than 100k, so yeah. And then in the 6th game, I had to play against CTM, one of my teammates. So another CTM player, Sven is his real name, and the name that he uses is Felix. Well, the thing about this player, Sven, is that he is EPO Moon main, also for a very long time. The other thing is that we know each other deck in and out, so nothing crazy will happen. Like we play just like two robots play against each other. We know what will happen. We know that if I don't kill him, then he will kill me back. We know that he could kill me with our turbo. I know that he could remove my stand rear guards, but again, I will never attack with my Vanguard, which will mean there will always be a rested rear guard. So for that, it was a very good game, but it ended up on the GBA just attacking and destroying everything. My last game I played against another big friend of mine. I call him the big guy from Germany. The thing is that we have played against each other. This was the 4th time we played against each other. The first time we played against each other, I was playing Bruce. He was playing Nubatama. And I lost against him. The second time we played against each other, he was playing... Oh no, the first time he was playing Gears, I was playing Bruce. The second time I was playing Spikes. It was Premium. It was the same event the next day. I don't remember what he was playing, but then I won against him. And then the last time we played against each other was also in teams, and he was playing Nubatama, I was playing Bruce, and we just went into the top 8, both of us, and then he won against me, and that's why we lost as a team the top 8 as well. So this time I won against him, so it was kind of interesting because we keep on facing each other in the top 8 or just before that, but normally we face each other into the top 8. And yeah, it's really cool. He was playing Granblue, okay. I think he pilots just different decks depending on the format or the meta. I don't think that he has a deck and premium that he picks up most of the time. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I think I even have asked him that, but I'm getting old, so I forget lots of stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I'm very, very, very not really sorry. But yeah, that was the score. So I lost once against New Nectar. Again, if we had more time, then I could have just GBA'd him, but yeah, no time in the Swiss to play around. All right, then we got into the top 8. So when we get in the top 8, we're playing Premium. The way I play shifts from taking risks to control, and that's when this deck can be amazing. Like, this is, in my eyes, the best deck, but it's for me the best deck. I don't know if it's the best deck for you. Why do I say that? Because this deck is built for my playstyle. Remember that this is premium, right? Like, you have so many cards to build your deck with. This deck is built perfectly for me. And some people can play the deck if they copy my playstyle. We have had that in the past. Somebody did qualify towards copying the exact list and the exact playstyle. And we have talked, like, he was a friend of mine, so I don't mind. But that's the thing. Like, you do really need to copy the playstyle to be able to play the deck. Otherwise, you will have to pick up the deck, you have to build it yourself, and then you will see that you will make lots of different choices. Playing into the top 8, again, the playstyle shifted into a little bit more serious. Now I had the chance to qualify forwards again for premium, which is good because I would rather go for premium than go for D, because premium is Spikes. Although D is Bruce and I love Bruce, but Spikes is Spikes. Like, no, there is no. So yeah, First game I played against Neonectar. He is an amazing player. He is the teammate of the guy I played against just before I hit the top 8, which I was telling you, like, we go back and forth. But we never played against each other because most of the time I play in B. And Honor, I think the name that he uses, he plays in B as well. Well, the Neonectar player in the top 8, he normally plays, I think, A or C. I don't know, because he plays against Smart or Sven, like not against me. So it was the first time that we play against each other, but we have known each other, like we know each other as like face and name. And he was playing Neonectar. I think he topped the first event in Europe as well, but I could be wrong. And yeah, he played very, very, very well. They had, of course, the chance to talk a little bit about the game before they hit the top 8, but he did not need that. He's a good player, and he gave me a run for my money. What happened is that he rushed, and I didn't get any triggers. Like, if you want to see the footage, I could put it on the channel, but it's on Echo's channel. If he doesn't do the videos, and I could take them off the stream and then put them on the channel for you guys. But it's just a typical Neonectar rush, and if I don't damage check triggers, it will be very hard for me to survive or to keep my damage low. I think on his first Katrina turn, I guarded the first attack, and then the second attack I got an OT, which was good because that would mean that I could have more hand for the next turn. I could have survived that turn, that's not the problem, but having the OT there just give me one extra draw, leave me at 3 damage, and give me one more turn to chill and to find my max and to ride into my max, because max is like your biggest shield, right? So yeah, it was pretty cool. He hit me with the OT early, offensively, and the turn after that I hit the OT defensively, I think, or the other way around. I first hit the OT defensively, and then he ended up his turn, or he did the Katrina shenanigans and ended up his turn, and having Honolese on the field, and then it was my turn again. I did draw, and that was his turn, and then he OT'd me there, and I had the double PG to stop everything, so I was good to go. And then we had the time, like, there was the 1, 2, 3, because the time in the top 8 changes, the time rule. First, if you, like, the 35-minute is done, then it's just game over and double loss. But if you hit the top 8, then of course you have an extra 10 minutes, which goes 1, 2, 3, 4, or 0, 1, 2, 3, depending on how you want to call it. But basically the active turn player has turn 0, and then the next turn is 1, then 2, then 3. So what happened there was kind of interesting, because he used the Nation Stride, the Megaloma, but that doesn't stop the GB8 loop. As long as the OT is gone, then you're good to go. But what happened there was interesting. So I had 2 columns to work with. One column could do 1 damage, and one column could do 2 damage. And what I want to do, he was at 1 damage. And so what I normally do is I hit with the force 2 to give him 3, then I will hit with the force 2 to give him 5, and then I will keep on hitting with the force 2 until he has to take 2 damage, and which means he go to 7. So what happens there is you hit the 6th damage, then the stride puts the damage away, and you shuffle and you use shenanigans, and you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage, and then you still take the 6th damage again, because that was normally the 7th damage. So that doesn't cancel, but you just take out first damage, and then you do shenanigans, and then you take out the 2nd damage. That's how it works, because that skill of the stride just go in between. So that's how normally I kill them. And if they are on 4 damage, I will hit them with the force 1, or the column that has just 1 attack, until they go to 5, and then I kill them, or I just attack them with the Vanguard if I want. But what happened there is that he went to 5, and then he healed back to 4, but he had 2 defensives, which means that my one column will not be able to hit anymore for that one damage, except my Vanguard. And that was what I did, is I kept on attacking on that column and the Vanguard until I could not hit anymore, because he guarded the big attacks and then everything else was smaller. But we were already into time, so I think we had like 4 minutes, something like that. So I was telling him, yo, you know that I could keep on looping until time ends, and then you are on 4 damage and I'm on 3. So yeah, even if I hit you with a force 2 and you will restart everything and then it's your turn, then you still can't kill me with the cards I have in my hand. So it doesn't matter. We will run out of time, and that will mean damage comparison. If there is damage comparison, I will win. So yeah. So that was kind of interesting. I could have done it differently. Yes. What could have I done? I could have also ended up my turn on my grade 3 turn, like on the Megaloma, the turn that he used, and then give him another Katrina turn, and then he will not be able to kill me. The OT is out, everything is out. I have a good defensive hand, so I could survive everything and then hit them with the GB8, because then there's nothing they could do about it anymore. But I didn't want to do that, because I know that if I do that and he plays slowly, he wasn't the guy to play slowly, but maybe he gets nervous and plays slowly, then I would lose into time, because I'm on 3 damage and he was on 1. So yeah, I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna take any risk. I took it into my own hands, and I just continuing the loop until time ends. And I was telling the judges that, okay, I'm not stalling, right? I'm playing fast. And he was like, yeah, you can do that. You could loop into time if you want to. I mean, it's a part of the game. So I was telling him, yo, this is what I'm gonna do. I hope you're not salty about it or anything. He was like, no, it's fine. It's part of the game. Well played. I'm like, thank you, well played. And then we ended up the game right there, and I showed him the loop, and I was like, I could do this for a while. And yeah, so that was interesting. It was a pretty cool game. And then we went into the top 4. So I was playing on the stream. Every game from the top 8 onwards is on the stream, so you can check that out on Echo's channel if you want to. Or you could check out the stream link, which is fine as well. So you will see me play, you'll see me like attacking with a crit into a Vanguard and just like having fun and laughing around it. You see me explaining all of the cards, everything I do to the opponent, because Spike Brothers is a clan that not many people know it anymore, or even in the past it wasn't that much played. So yeah, so it's kind of strange to play into Spike, so I keep on explaining everything. And yeah, so that was kind of cool for them to stream all the 3 games, and I think that was pretty nice. I've been watching the stream multiple times, especially my own games, to find out mistakes that I made. And on the last game I made 2 mistakes, which could have cost me first place, but it was a very long day and I was playing on autopilot, just my brain. On the last game I had to go to the bathroom like from half the game because there was no time limit, but I will tell you later. So, second game, into the top 8. Top 4, we played against Narukami. Narukami was the guy that was undefeated, so it was pretty cool because he was not only 7-0, he was now 8-0 because he played again into Granblue player. So that was kind of cool. And what happened there is he had to play against Spikes. Well, Narukami played against Spikes. There are ways that you could play around their G-guards. If you call 2 rear guards and you call something behind the Vanguard and you call 2 more rear guards if you have to, like even if they double G-guard you, they could take out 4 of your rear guard, but they can't take out the 5th one. And as long as you have 1 behind the Vanguard, then you're good to go, or 1 behind whatever, you're good to go, because then you could give up the skill of the GB8 to that rear guard and then you could still attack. But not only that, there is something else that is interesting as well. That is, you have leather. As long as you have leather, they could not target your cards and you'll be good to go as well. So that's what happened. I kept on drawing cards until I drew my leather, and when I drew my leather, I just went to my kill turn. On his defense, he had to GSS into grade 1, which was lucky and unlucky. The lucky part is that he rode into a perfect guard, which is the only card in his whole deck that could hit below my right target this time, which was Laruk. I normally ride into Tyr or to Honolly, but I had to ride this guy because he was the only one great one I had in my hand. And normally I would just love to have this card in my hand because he could guard, especially their grade 2 Vanguard attack, because the one normally if they hit they could draw 2 cards because of the booster and his own skill. So yeah, he didn't do me any damage, which means that I could not have used my starter to search out the Acrobat Verdi, and I cannot make the Old Rising. And I cannot make the Old Rising, I can't stride because I went first. But then, when I drew for turn for my grade 2, I drew into the Rising, so it was good to go. And then just standard gameplay, Rising grade 2 game, just attack into a Vanguard or the Vanguard if they don't have anything, and then go into grade 3, stride, attack into a Vanguard, put up something like a breach if I could not hit the Vanguard. If I could hit the Vanguard, then no, nothing will be called there. Try to recycle and return as much cards from the drop zone back to the deck with your G-Guards, with your Breach, with your Skydivers, whatever, so you don't have anything in the drop zone to bind, which means you not lose your cards, but also they gain less power and less skills. So that was pretty cool. It's interesting to play against Narukami, haven't played against them for a while, and he piloted the deck very well. Well, he went 8-0, so yeah. And he ended up taking 3rd place, which is cool as well. So yeah, he did amazing. He's a world participant, I think, as well. Yeah. Alright, so on that game, I went then into the GB8 and then activated ladder and then just had the standard combo with Breach and with the Demonic Lady and then pew, 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 pew. And then he went from 1 damage to 6 and there's nothing to do about it. When he G-assisted on his grade 1, I saw that he has the OT on hand, and because he has the OT on hand, I stopped giving damage because I only rush if the opponent still has OT on deck, because I want them to have less damage to hit the OT during my GB8 turn. That's like the biggest reason. In the last game I played against a very good player from Europe who played Granblue. His name is Victor, a good friend of mine. We haven't normally, like, we both have a buy card and then we'll be chilling like on the side of the event just talking about everything, but I think it was the first time we played against each other, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's pretty cool to play against him. He played Granblue. I think he picked up the deck like in the last few years and he played it very well, so it was pretty cool to have the chance to play against Granblue again and to have the chance to play against Victor. And yeah, the game was like, I had a funny idea in my mind. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I was like, I won the first game because of time. I won the second game because of the GB8. So the normal win con, I would say, of the deck or of Vanguard, just giving your opponent the 6 damage. And I was like, how about if I could win the last game with my last win con, which is decking the opponent out. Then you have one with time, one with just normal 6 damage, and one with a decking the opponent out. That was actually my strategy. It's like, can I kill them with decking out before I kill them with the 6 damage? We'll have to play a very long game then. So what happens there? He played very smart because I went first. Oh no, actually he went first. And what happened is that he drive checked the OT on his first stride, which made it very difficult for me to survive. But I had the ticket in my hand, which was good enough, or I could have PG'd, but I went to 5 damage very early before I ride into grade 3. Then I rode into grade 3, I rode into the V-Nova because he's a 13k, and because it is better because I know that I wanted to go into the max. So there was no reason to ride this and then like have to commit more to the field and from my hand, because that's what Bruce does. So I went into just an easy Miracle Ace turn, Violence Ace turn, and just drew one card, and then the turn after that I draw like 4 or 6 cards, and I was sitting like the whole tournament on like 12, 13, 16, and 18 cards in my hand, and then the people that were watching were like, how the hell does he have 18 cards in his hand playing spikes? I'm like, yeah, you just need to be better at the game. No, I'm kidding. It's just like this build is built on survival, and it's not only defensive, but it's just very draw heavy. Like you draw a lot to find your key pieces, to find the right targets. Like you go from the V Rising to the max, or you go from the G Rising to the max to the V Rising, which creates you 3 Force 1s and 1 Force 2, or 4 Force 1s and 1 Force 2, depending on what you want to write first, because he will give you 2, then the max will give you 1, and then he will give you 1 and a Force 2, so he'll be chilling on 4 Force 1s. So your attacks, like him attacking during the GB8, is 60. So how many triggers do you want to get that you think that this guy can't hit, or whatever, like an angry tier for 60? Yeah. So it was kind of cool to play that game. And then what happened is that I kind of started rolling up my draw engine, and then when his next turn hit, so I rode into this, I stride into the Violence Ace. I draw a card, I built up a good hand, I think a 12 or 13 cards in hand, and then it was his turn. He didn't have a good setup in the drop zone because the game just started, so he still had to go Opodaya. And on his Opodaya turn, he decided to only attack with his Vanguard and not attack with his Vanguard, because he only had 1 Honey on the field and nothing was removed from the game. So that was a very, very, very smart move, because if he hadn't done that, then I would have GB8 him like on my second stride, because I had 3 heals on hand and I was ready to go GB8. That's why I rode into this as well. And then I will just ride into max or another copy of him, because I drove check like a lot of Gary 3s. And then from that moment on, I have 2 markers, so my attacks were 40, 40, 40. He needs to hit like 3 defensive triggers to be able to survive that. And I would have taken the risk there if I had to. Because even if I don't go second place, first place, I have second place still qualification, so I'm fine. I like taking risks. Like, that's how you play spikes. You have to find that moment in an attack. But he was very smart. He didn't give me the damage. Or he didn't attack into me, which means I can't G-guard, because I just G-guarded his Opodaya attack, and then he had 2 more attacks and he didn't attack, he stopped there, which was cool. Then it was my turn again, and then I went to another Violence Ace, and now I have 2 face-up from Bruce and 2 face-up from my G-guard, so I have 4 face-up cards. I flip 1 when I'm at 5, I draw 5 cards. And then I have the triple drive, and then I have a Sprout that could attack into the Vanguard with a 10k, and then I ended up my turn with 18 cards on hand. 18 cards on hand. And then he went into Bounty, and what he did there is he used both of his Honolies. I think he plays only 2, but I could be mistaken. He used both of his Honolies on the Bounty turn, and then he attacked me with bad Bounty, and I survived because I could survive easily. And then it was my turn again. Now I have 2 choices. I could GB8 on that turn, or I could stall 1 more turn and play around the Honolies that are cracked. Now you will ask the question, right? What could kill me on that next turn? Not much, because I will end up my turn with like 15 or 16 cards on hand. And even if you have to guard like everything with 3 cards, I'm good to go. So I chose a different route. I chose a route that I did not want to show the GB8. I wanted to go for deck out. So I went for Galley, and the Galley attacks into a Vanguard or Vanguard, whatever. You could still Soul Blast, and you could use the ability to call 2 cards from your deck. And the 2 cards that I called were 2 Honolies, because I haven't seen my Honolies. I've drawn like most of my deck and recycled a lot, but my Honolies were still chilling in the deck. So I called the 2 Honolies, and the thing is, we called the 2 Honolies and I forgot about them. Like, we both forgot about them. Like during his next turn, he went into that stride that you need to guard with 3 cards if they have 30 cards in the drop zone, which he almost made the 30 cards at the start, but then later on he did. And the funny thing is that we both forgot the Honolese. The judge forgot the Honolese, everybody forgot the Honolese. So when he attacked with his Vanguard, he had 7 cards left on deck, and then 5 from the 7s were crits. So I gave him a 3 to pass because I forgot about the Honolese and I had to keep 6 cards on my hand to guard the 2 other attacks and 1 extra card to stride with. So I had 7 cards left on my hand after guarding his Vanguard attack. But normally he can't attack with his regulars anymore because I have 2 Honolese and there is no way to get around the 2 Honolese. So yeah, mistakes were made. I calculated the percentage of him drive checking 3 crits and it was less than 50%. How do you calculate that? Well, first you have 7 cards, so it will be 5 on 7, 5 divided by 7, and then it will be 4 divided by 6, and then it would be 3 divided by 5, because you will take out crit, right? So the first chance is I think 74%, and then it's 71%, and then it's 66 or 63, something like that. And then if you want to hit all 3, then of course that's even a lesser chance. So yeah, you would need a calculator. I could do it in my mind, but it's a little bit less than a 50%, which is kind of cool. But even if you take the third one, it will be 61%. And I had to take that chance because I had to leave the 3 other cards for this column, 3 other cards for the other column. I could have done it differently as well because I was chilling on 4 damage. I could have taken 1 damage from the 2 earlier attacks, and then on his Vanguard attack I would have put that 5k or 10k, and then it will be a no pass. But at that moment I remember the Honolese. Even I put a dice with a 2, 2 attacks already done. And then third attack, I didn't move the dice anymore. And then the 4th attack was the Vanguard, then 5th, 6th, though, yeah. Everybody forgot about the Honolese. The Honolese that I went into a whole stride to call them, I forgot about them. But that happens, sometimes that happens. And with that, he drove check, crit nothing. So I was lucky or unlucky or just old to forget about the Honolese. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. But yeah, I think it's a fair chance. It's less than 50-50 for him to hit triple crits on 7 cards deck with 5 crits. And then it was my turn, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I was telling my opponent, you have 4 cards left on deck. 3 of them are triggers, I know, but I could hit above the 3 triggers with the markers that I've made. I could GB8 you, and you could lose. Or I could let you go deck out, and you will lose. So you lose or you lose. But which one do you want? He was like, thank you for the game. It was an amazing tournament because I was talking to the cast a lot, the people that were casting the stream. We were having such a great time, clapping and enjoying everything, and it's just funny to have the chance to play a tournament like that and people enjoying their time, you playing spikes. So yeah, I think one of the tournaments that I enjoyed the most that I've played in the last, what do I say, 3-4 years after the pandemic hit. So, or during the pandemic and after. Before that we had even more funny tournaments, but there was an interesting one, not because I took first place, but because of the interactions with the opponents, with the judges, with everything was fun. Everybody was laughing, me was explaining, and most people were like, oh, okay, yeah, I think you win, but still show it to me if you like. I was like, yeah, sure, here you go, then you do this and you do that, that's how the loop works, and then this and that. And they were like, yeah, so all fun games. All right, so a long video, as you can see. Like, we are already on almost 40 minutes. Me just going through the deck, the decks that I played against, and we still have to do like a combo video. We still have to do like a deck profile. So what I will do right now is I will give you a fast forward to the deck profile, and then I will do another video where I will show you the deck, and then I will explain a little bit more during that video. I think that's like that's the best thing. But yeah, so first place taken by me, D-Boy, and then we have reverse ace, which was Victor. Then we have Brian, which was playing the Neonectar, and then I think this is Mo, Astral Susanoo, and then we have like the Dave was playing Neonectar as well. Then we had the other two Neonectar players. This was the one that I lost against, I think, and that was the one that I won the top 8 game against. And then we have Honor, which was the one that I played my last game against in the Swiss. So he made it to the top 8 as well, which is pretty cool. And this is so this is the final results. You can see it, you can find it on Facebook, but here's it as well. So first, second, third, fourth place, and 8th place. All right, so we have talked about all the games. We've talked about the organization a little bit. Here you have the winning card, if you want to see it. I didn't get the playmat or the trophy yet. I have to get them in Germany or another event because they didn't arrive yet. But yeah, let me show you a fast forward to the deck. So the deck is a very, very, very combo heavy deck. It's a very difficult deck to play. It's not a deck that you could pick it up and just play it. It's a deck that needs a lot of hours put into it to reach that autopilot level, because if you don't hit that autopilot level, then you can't play this deck in a 7 or 8 rounds of Swiss and then 3 rounds after that. You're crazy if you think you could do that. You have to have a little bit of a background into Spike to be able to do that, or you have to build the deck differently. So again, this build is made especially for me. It's my playstyle build. If you want to build the deck, you could build it differently. Just put lots of time and effort into it, because it's not a deck that you could pick up and play. All right, deck profile, or a fast forward deck, and then I will do another video deck profile. So the grade 3. The grade 3 lineup starts with 4 copies of Rising. We play 2 V-Nova Rising, and then we play 2 G Risings. I play both arts because I like both of them. And then of course, if we get this a G version of Spike in Overdress, that would be amazing. Then we'll have a third art, but I need a second art of V, so then I have 4 different ones. So yeah, what do you want me to explain? You can't play just one, you need the 2, because there's a chance you hit it in damage, there's a chance you hit Verdine damage, there's a chance that you don't get CB. You will have to have this card in your hand if you go first to be able to ride into it and to stride first. It's not about striding. You could put a lot of pressure there, you could push your opponent to 3 or 4 damage if you want to, but it's really not about that. It's all about you having GB2. If your opponent's chilling on grade 2, which means that when they hit their first stride, they attack into you, need 3 G guards to hit the GB8. And if you do so, GB8. No waiting, nothing, just boom, GB8. And from him and the Bruce, you of course get the 2 Force 1s, and then you ride into this, then you get the 3rd Force 1 and the Force 2, and then you're good to go. Like, that's more than enough to kill your opponent. So that's why the 4 Risings. The V Rising skill to copy something doesn't really come up that often, because you never ride into him as the first right target. The other right target that makes a big difference is the Maximum Maximum. The Maximum is a card that when you put a card on the Guardian Circle, it gives it an extra 5k, which means that if you put 2 grade 2s, normally this is a 10k shield, but with his ability it becomes a 20k shield, which makes a huge difference, because that would mean that you could just guard with the grade 3s and with everything, and everything gets shield. So this is the card that makes that 12 to 18 cards on hand, even more scarier because it's easy. Like they attack with what, like a 70k Skull Dragon, like a 70k Skull Dragon. You're like, okay, that's a G guard and one more card from my hand. Or you'd be like, okay, I could just do 4 cards from hand and that's guard. Like it's not that hard to guard while you're sitting on this card and you have Strode, is that a word? I think so. Stridden into stridden into Violence Ace before that. So yeah, if you want to take the max out, it's up to you, but I'm a big fan. Like he gives you the ability to go to the late game and survive whatever your opponents want to throw at you. Skydiver, I play 1. It's more than enough. It's the card that reset the combo. You don't really need him all the time, but there will be moments in time where he will be able to hit high numbers. So yeah, that's why you play the Skydiver. And then we play the 4 Jelly Beans. Of course, this deck will change a little bit when the new Great 1 G-Guard will come out, or Great 1 Heal. But for now, the Jelly Beans is amazing. If you don't know what it does, it basically searches your deck for a Dudley Grade 2 or less card, which means most of the time your Dudley Heal, and your Dudley Heal will help you to G-Guard. Okay, that's it for the Grade 3s. So this is what we play. 4 copy of Jelly Beans, 1 Skydiver, 2 Max, 4 Risings, 2 on 2. Grade 2s, we have the 4 copies of Breach, a very good card in the early game, on your first stride and during the GBA turn. He draw you a card. People explained him wrong in the stream. He doesn't say you can't intercept, he says you have to intercept, which makes it even more scary. You have to intercept with everything that can intercept. So if they have something in the back row they can intercept, their front row if they can intercept, they have to intercept, which makes it a very, very interesting card. But it's all about the interaction that this card has with the GBA. We have put multiple videos on the channel what explains that, and also about the fact that he could just go into your soul and draw your cards. It's like empty up your field and recycle your drop zone and draw your cards. Like, dude, you're doing everything. But he ended up being in the soul. And then you need something that could Soul Blast him. That's when the Demonic Lady comes in. She draw your card, she empower, and she Soul Blast. And that's everything you need to continue on the GB8 loop. It's not an infinite loop, but it's it could go over a long time. We play 2 of the right fixers. His name is Wild Shot Roberts. Roberts has interesting attack card thing-ish in this deck. He could be the one that helps you to rush in the early game or during the first stride, because he could call the Skydiver, and the Skydiver could go back to the deck. He could go back to the deck, and then you could recall him and a Skydiver with your, for an example, with your kill turn. So you could do that with Bruce, or you could do that with the Galley, especially with Galley. So what you do is you normally have this on one side and you have something else on the other side. You attack with the other side, then you attack with this boosted from whatever that is chilling right here. So this is how your field would look like, right? This is how your field would look like, and then you have something that could boost right here and something right here that could attack, could be whatever, it doesn't matter. So you attack with that first without a boost, then you attack with this and you activate his ability, come +1, call a Skydiver right here. The Skydiver attacks and then the Skydiver goes back to deck, this goes back to the deck. You attack with this, you call this right here and you call something like the Skydiver, whatever you want to hit with, or something that could draw your cards like a Breach right here. Then you do your drive checks, then that thing attacks, and this attacks, then calls a Skydiver. Because this guy doesn't cost you a card from your hand, he just searches your deck for a grade 3 and call it. He doesn't minus you, he only uses the 2 CB. And if you're sitting on, like, let's say G Nova, then it's even easier to make the combo. But normally you'll be chilling on the V Nova, which makes even more markers because this is your second strike. So people forget that this deck could kill. This is not only a turbo deck, this is a rush turbo deck, or an aggro turbo. It's a hybrid, as always. My decks are always hybrids because I don't want to have just one game plan. Alright, and then we have the Elemental Pecan. Yes, this is another rain element. Of course, this deck placed here, and then this is the second one, which is amazing. He plays around Honolulu. He doesn't target, he just chooses a column, and everything there loses the ability until the end of turn, which is kind of cool because he plays around the Stokea Fox, he plays around multiple resist units, he plays around units that give resist because it doesn't matter, he just targets a column and the skill is negated. And that's it for the grade 2s. So we have the 4 Breach, the 3 Demonic Ladies, the 2 Roberts, and this. If you see my deck list, it's always like a 4, 3, 2, 1. It's not everything is random. Sometimes I just build the deck the way I want it to. And it's fun. It's fun. It's all fun. Same goes for my grade 3s if you look at them the right way. Alright, then we go to the grade 1s. I play 4 Relux. This was not the only choice that I could play. There is another card that I could have played, but I will show you that in deck profile. He's a good card. He helps you to survive the early game, especially if you go second and your opponent has a very strong first try. Then we have 3 copies of Tear, plays around Honolulu, Soul Blast, good right target, you name it, cool card, have been with me for a very long time. He's my one and only counter charger. 2 Honolulus, I don't feel like this deck needs more than 2. You could play without, I mean, you could even take them out and the deck would still function. But he's important. So if I were you, I would play Honolulus. In this deck, definitely. And last but not least, we play 1 Acrobat Verdi for, you could search him, you could make up your G Rising if you want to. So again, E4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, then we will go into the trigger lineup. Triggers will start with 4 Deadly Heals. Of course, this could change with the grade 1 that's coming out, but for now, this is amazing. 4 Crit Draws, you can call them whatever you want to call them. Liar Lips, I'm very happy that I could play this card again. It goes into Soul, give you a +5 and draw your cards, which is good, because you could put this on the first grade 4 turn, and then you could just attack with it on chilling on a double force 1 marker, still hits a high number, and then with just 24, it's pretty cool, it's as strong as a ship. And then it goes to your soul, you draw a card, and you could call something with your Bruce skill and with your Rising skill, which is pretty cool. Otherwise, it's a 15k shield on hand, and if you damage check it, you draw a card. I mean, perfect. Like, this card is perfect for this deck. And then we play 4 D draws. This card is very, very, very beautiful, and I love to play it in this deck. The art is amazing. It fits also the trigger art as well. Like, they are all different hair colors and all ladies. And she's not a cheerleader, but that's fine. She is also not really a cheerleader. It's just a draw trigger that is 10k shield, which makes it 15k shield with max, and it's just good. Then we play 3 draw PGs. The SP ones, of course, Merlin have been with me for a very long time. So yeah, that's very simple. Like, you play as much draws as you can, because again, draws are better than the crits. Then we play the Overtrigger. We play purple. There's multiple reasons why we play purple. First of all, him healing you, which means you could take more damage, and him plussing you on hand 2 times because you draw from the OT skill and you draw from having to add an extra card from your damage zone back to your hand. And there's one more thing that's very important. You do play lots of one-offs in this deck, and sometimes if you lose them in the damage zone, it kind of disrupts your gameplay. Like, the one Skydiver is good, the one Bacon is good. So yeah, having to add that card back from the damage zone back to your hand is very, 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 very nice. And then we play 1 Angel Leather, and then we play 1 Centipede. So yeah, I think simple. Angel Leather is self-explanatory. It's important in this deck as it does shield you against everything that could interrupt your combo. But it going into your soul, giving your Vanguard a 5k and drawing you a card is always nice. It's never a bad thing. And one more important thing, it's a grade 3, which means you could just drop it to strike. Like, oh my, like the top 8 game which I played against Neonectar doesn't have anything that could interrupt your combo, so I used it to stride, then put it back with my G guard, and then shuffled, and then after attacking, I drove check it again, which I used it to stride again. I mean, that's insane, right? That is insane. And that's pretty much it for the main deck. The extra deck is, yeah, of course, your starter is Mega Trainer. I mean, the old Mega Trainer. Your stride deck is very simple. We play the 2 copies of the GB8s, because if you don't kill them on the first one, you could kill them on the second one. If you have a good setup, you could leave up good hand. Even if they drop, if they got the OT, you could still use his ability to call a double homily if you want to, and leave up like with still like 8 or 7 cards on hand and a double homily on the field, which is nice. And then you have also your deck with lots of triggers, so that's good to go. So that's why you play the 2 GB8s. Next card we play is the 2 copies of the Violence Ace. A very important card to play at this deck. I don't think you need 3. There was a one game that I could have used a 3rd one, but I don't think that's necessary because you will deck out. So yeah, 2 is fine. Then we have Bruce. We play, of course, also 2 because that's important. You need 2 to be able to use this ability. We use 1 Galley and we use 1 Fermios, especially for the MA Colony matchup because it's your baddest matchup. Excuse me. If you don't want to play Fermios, there is actually a better card, which is a Merendol. I would love to play Merendol, but as long as Gridora is out there, I would have to play this card. So I can't play this, but if you have the chance to play this, you could take this out, and that would mean that you have a better flip target with your Miracle Ace after you have Violence Ace, after you have used the first one, because your first flip target is of course always Messiah, and this would be your second flip target. Or if you only draw 1 card out of him and you don't want to do that, or you don't want to use the CB, or you don't have CB, then this card makes the difference, because this card could still flip something face up from your G-Zone without needing the CB. So that is also very, 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 very important. So it's a card that, again, I would love to play in this deck, but I just don't have a space for it. There is something else that you could take out. You could also take out 1 Terrible Lioness to put it in, and you play only 2 Terrible Lioness, but with that you could not go GB8 first stride if you want to do that. And how does that happen? Well, it actually happens on if you go first and you could not use the Acrobat Verdi, or you could, yeah, you just can't stride into Bruce. If you can't stride into Bruce, then you could use the Terrible Lioness. Or if you want Big Shield, let's say you have used the first Terrible Lioness to flip something on an attack, and then they attack into you again, like you have two G guards face up in your G zone, you could use double Terrible Lioness there. If you use the double Terrible Lioness, you flip 2, you have 4 cards face up in your G zone, and with that you can you use the second one when you had only 3, so you have to use 2 at the same time, and that's your your biggest shield. I do that against DP sometimes, like I could just triple Lioness if I want to, and then it will be like a big shield. You know that the 1 Terrible Lioness is like 48 with your Vanguard, because, and if you're chilling on max, like what max will do is give him an extra 5k, so it becomes 20k, 30k, 40k. So that's 40k, so this is 80k. If you add 1 more, that's just a 120k plus the already 13k that you have, that's 133k. Like what do you want to do against a 133k? So normally I never would take out the Terrible Lioness. I think that it's very important to play the 4 for some reason. Sometimes if you can't hit your right grade 3, or you can't stride, or you just don't have a grade 3 in hand or whatever, then he becomes interesting. But he is good as well. Merendol is fire, literally fire. Alright, so these are your strides. Don't forget to add the Beautiful Messiah to the deck, because the deck deserves the Beautiful Messiah. And the G-Guards, you've already seen it. We have 1 Hecaton Gus, 1 Queen Evita, 1 Regatome, 1 Desmule, and then the 3 copies of Terrible Lines. There is another G-Guard that you could put in the deck. Yes, you could add more Crane Elementals, the different one, the one that said with every 2 cards your opponent has in their hand it gets power. But shield, I mean. But you could also add another Queen and take this out. You don't want to take these out because you want to flip as much Crane Elementals as you want. But you could put her in. Is that good? Yes and no. Sometimes yes, but sometimes he's better. And in my opinion, it's better to have the 2 options. Just a one-off is enough in my opinion. The only card that again I would love to add to the deck is actually just the Regatome, the Marindol, I mean. And if I add the Marindol, I would have to take out the Fermios. And that would make the Male Coney matchup harder. But I will see when we qualify towards if I would feel like there will be some Aegon, yes or no, and how the game will progress. If we will see less Meikoni, then maybe I will make some differences. Of course, the deck will be different because we will have more cards in D, and we will also have like maybe we will get a stride deck. I mean, who knows? Or maybe we will get kind of a premium collection, something. I don't know, like that all could happen. I mean, Worlds is just in May, like it's like half a year later, so everything could happen. But mostly the Great One that could help you to G-Guard, that one will make, I think, the biggest change in the deck on how the deck would look like. But that's pretty much it for now. I think that I've showed you everything. It's a very long ass video, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. I will make different videos for you guys for me to talk a little bit more about the deck list, and to talk more about like the combo, and I could just go in depth a little bit more about the play style of the deck and the matchups. But I think for now, like, this is a long enough video. Alright guys, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in on our channel. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have, subscribe on the channel, like the video, and share it with people that love spikes or love to have crazy decks in this beautiful meta, in this beautiful format. Alright, thank you again, until next time.